In the 2022 World Cup, the lights suddenly turned dark. There was an artificial wormhole in the middle of the court. With a powerful shockwave, tens of thousands of people were shocked. But this is not a computer effect. A group of people walked out of the wormhole. They came to the center of the court fully armed. The court was suddenly crowded. Even the audience was shocked. This is a woman who is not afraid of panic. She claims they are from the future world. In 30 years, people are in an unprecedented war. And the opponent is a creature from the outside world. She is called White Dice. They are specialized in human food, not only for food, but also for fighting power. In just 2 years, the entire Earth has been completely destroyed. The original population of 7 billion people is now less than 500,000. If this continues, it won't take long for all humans to disappear from the Earth. They need people now to go to the source of the future. This will be the last hope for humans. This news shocked the world. At this moment, the unity will be established in the air. They are starting to build air raid facilities in various places to send the army of the world to the battlefield of the future. The soldiers only need to serve for 7 days. After 7 days, they will be sent back to the present. However, in the battle, there are fewer survivors. The government has to expand the scope and order the soldiers to fight. Among them, there is the retreating soldier Owen. Now he is a senior teacher. After receiving the recruitment notice in class, he immediately came to the recruitment office to avoid the time traveling. Only those who died before entering the capital of the alien planet can meet the requirements. After all the tests, all the information he had before his death was taken out. Then he was put into the 3-star and a time-traveling device in his hands. When he returned home, Owen told his wife about this bad news. They all knew that this was probably the 5th year. He said goodbye to his wife and his 7-year-old daughter. He came to the gathering ground alone. Most of the people here are people with no experience in combat. Even the guns are not ready yet. But there are professional soldiers in it. He has a lot of passion for killing. He has been through 2 diseases and died. They had to take 7 days of training. But the alarm went off suddenly. The future world needs emergency support. Everyone must leave immediately. The space-time tracking device is on the way. After a colorful wormhole, they will return. As the countdown begins, everyone is sucked into the cave one by one. But when it comes to Owen, the system suddenly reminds the target to be wrong. But it has been kept a secret. But now they appear in the future world's 10,000-meter high space. On this day, humans feel the fear of being controlled by monsters. A species called white dwarfs, alien creatures, immediately swept the world. They are bloodthirsty and have strong fighting power. In just 2 years, the entire Earth has completely calmed down. In order to save the human homeland, the people of the world united before the sky, through space-time travel to the 2050s to fight against the white dwarf. But because of the miscalculation of the output coordinates, they appear in the future world's 10,000-meter high space. A human meteor shower descends from the sky. Many soldiers were crushed to the ground like dumplings. They were even killed in the moment, and Owen was also among them. In this way, 1,000 soldiers, even the shadow of the alien creature, has not been seen. There is no chance left. The people who survived unbelievably watched the scene in front of them. The whole city was smoking all over. It's a human-like hell. The soldiers who survived in the distance were also killed instantly. This is not a war. It's a death sentence. At this time, Owen received the message from the female commander. Because the whole city has been occupied by Bai Changding, after a few hours they will bomb the city. Their mission is to go to the research base nearby to rescue the trapped researchers. Because Owen was a member of the Army Special Forces, he was chosen to be the captain of this team. But when they were about to evacuate, a hidden white long-tailed eagle slowly showed up. The team was killed in the end. In this scene, Owen quickly shoots, but White Lung is not attacking, and quickly runs to Owen. In order to cover his teammates, Owen and this alien creature have a life-and-death confrontation. But even the bullets of the assault guns are out of sight. It is still difficult to stop White Lung's advance. This is the fire axe he saw next to him. He rushed over to him as soon as he picked it up. But who knew that an axe was cut on the ground? This is how he beat up Bai Changding. But he raised his axe and stabbed directly into the opponent's chin. But even so, Bai Changding's huge explosive power also made him unable to control it. Fortunately, his teammates rushed to the rescue immediately. This is how he successfully turned the tide. And with his experience of many times, tell Owen that the neck and abdomen are the most fatal weakness of Bai Changding. After that, everyone quickly ran away from the building. Under the guidance of the commander, the team quickly entered the red smoke area. Finally, they saw the team. But they were happy for only 2 seconds. The armored car that was hit by the tree was easily hit by the white long nail. The soldiers could only be their subordinates. Seeing the hope of burning up being extinguished again, everyone immediately concentrated firepower and started to attack. But more white long nails had already been attacked. They used the car as a cover and continued to shoot. At this time, the white long nail, who had been dying, rushed towards Owen. Owen aimed at his abdomen, and the firepower was fully open. Successfully solved one problem. At this moment, the bomber has already arrived in the city. Under the command of the commander, the bomb has started. The city has suddenly become a sea of fire. But even so, the number of White Crescent, after a long and hard journey, the rest of the team finally managed to escape. When they woke up again, they had already arrived at the military base 30 years later. When they saw the commander in front of them, they felt like they knew him. The commander was actually the only example of his future world, but they didn't have time to worry about it. Next, they had to complete a more dangerous mission. They found that by returning the sick body, the poison could kill the beasts, but it didn't work on the dead animals. But the killing speed was not comparable to their reaction speed. They came to the top of the cave, and the cave was completely controlled. And in the deep cave below, the soldiers tried their best to pull out the white longsword. There was still a constant sound of the low-pitched voice in the cave. Otherwise, the ropes were loose, and a huge white longsword rushed out. In the cave, several special forces are desperately pulling, and there are many bones on the ground. There was still a constant sound of the low-pitched voice in the cave. Otherwise, the rope was loose and it rushed out. We're too late to react. Another soldier was bitten. The situation was very critical. Before landing, he saw a soldier facing such a cruel alien creature was hard to fight. Commander immediately let the members he threw a lot of fire at the other entrance. Bai Changding screamed in pain. He ran out after a collision. He grabbed a soldier as hostage and sent a rescue signal to the upper side. The commander shot his tail and saved the soldier. But this also made Bai Changding angry. He couldn't avoid the commander. He was hit and flew more than 10 meters away. At the same time, countless Bai Changdings were coming quickly. They were already at the frozen position. Wu Wen immediately slipped down the rope, and he was crazy about the white snake. After killing him, he entered the cave. Watching his daughter's life was at risk. Owen rushed over and caught the white dragon's tail. The angry white dragon immediately aimed at Owen. But at the moment of firing, he hit his own head. While he was in a stable state of mind, everyone tried their best to lock him in the cage. With the order, the cage broke out. But at this time, countless white dragons had already been killed and rushed over to the human fighter. The number of white long nails is increasing. Wu Wen and her daughter came to an armored car. The white nails are being pushed up to the ground to make a forceful exit. After a thorough battle, they finally escaped. They came to a base on the sea. And this is also the last defense of mankind. Fortunately, the white nails have been transported back to the base. The commander immediately began to test the poison. With this body as an experiment, the success rate will also be much higher. In the end, after countless changes, the death rate of the virus finally reached 1%. And at this time, Bai Changding, who was the leader of the Five Flowers, also began to wake up. He made an angry cry, as if he was sending messages to his companions. At the same time, the alert of the base suddenly rang. The alien creatures like the red water beast have also been quickly put on the low end. In the future 2050, humans are suffering from an unprecedented disaster. This alien creature named Bai Changding is quickly entering the last survival point of humans. Even if all the war machine power is crazy, it is difficult to stop their steps. They are like red water beasts through the thicket of the wall because there's only 8 minutes left until the delivery time. At this time, a few white long nails have come to the lab. They quickly cut off the chain by suppressing the history. Recovering the King of Freedom is to take revenge at the first time. He smelled the smell and searched all the way. When the two of them were about to stop, it was still discovered that the daughter was accidentally hit by a tail. But at this time, the wheel of the lost control hit the base. The copter they were supposed to take was also destroyed. It was only a minute away from the time and space. Yuer knew that she was running out of time. She handed the newly developed patient to Owen. She then told him that she must survive to stop the disaster. The Beast King had already come to her. When he was rushing to the two of them, the platform suddenly started to collapse. Yuer also fell down. Owen could only grab her hand. In order to save Owen's time, Yuer chose to let go. Owen was in a sad state. He left without thinking. They wanted to take their daughter to the ship, but it was too late. As the space-time device started, a few companions landed. They returned to the year 2002, but even if they are in a coma, they are still holding on to the sickle. But when they woke up again, they received a news that made them despair. Due to the danger of the sea base, they can no longer travel to the future world. Fortunately, a biologist found the fire ash that was blown up 946 years ago in the park. That is to say, they have come to the Earth 1,000 years ago. The target is the cold northern land. Because of the global climate change, the white long-tailed eagle woke up 30 years later. Now is the best time to eliminate them in advance. They made a batch of sickle in Jiajing. A few people immediately set off to the distant northern land. They had to stop everything from the source. Through the exploration, they found that there was a very powerful magnetic field, and in front of a huge blood pit, they exploded it with bombs. Then they continued to search. Finally, at 300 meters underground, they found a long-lost spaceship that accidentally fell into the ice. The exploration team found a 1,000-year-old spaceship at 300 meters underground in the Arctic. When they entered the ship's hull, countless training hulls were trapped in the ice. They are the murder weapons of aliens. Bai Changding immediately starts to inject the body into the training room. Bai Changding struggles to breathe in pain. In the end, it turns into a pool of blood. But the movements that are triggered, Kui Liang Dongla, but it shocked the other training room's White Changding. More white squid din started to rush out of the training room. Once they escape from the spaceship, the fate of humans will be completely ended. The plan of survival and death, the team consistently pressed the trigger. All white squid din on the spaceship were in the same situation. Owen, who escaped from the death, was also blown out of the forest. When he found the two of them, he was told that there was a larger porcupine, White Squid Din, who escaped. The most urgent thing is that they have to get rid of it as soon as possible. The two of them followed the footprints on the ground and searched. Finally, they found his trace in the snow on the opposite side. At this time, White Squid Din locked him up. He thought there was a big meal to eat and rushed up like crazy. The next second, the old man shot him in the head. At the critical moment, Owen rode a snow cart to hit him. Then the two of them attacked him with full force. Eventually, they pushed him to the cliff. But when they looked forward, they did not find the white long nail. The cunning white long nail suddenly rushed out. When the white long nail rushed out, he pulled out his tail 5 times in a row and hit the other person's eyes. The old man also took out the light and hurt him. He cut off Bai Changding's other eye. He struggled painfully and could not see anything else. He could only shoot 5 times in a row, and when he saw this, Owen took out the sick body and hit his arm very hard. The poison spread on his arm very quickly. But he never thought that the instinct of survival could make him self-destruct. Now he is completely trapped in the wind. This made the old man cut his hand with a knife, and the blood of the old man rushed over to him quickly. Owen took the opportunity to hold his head, and then he threw the virus into the monster's mouth, and it started vanishing while falling off the cliff. This is the end. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos.